What is up, guys? I'm Ian Lynch, and I'm joined with
Jake Henning.
and we are bringing you Eagle Media's NBA playoff exclusive. So, Jake, the Lakers are currently leading 2-1. What are your thoughts so far on the series?
Yeah, the Lakers have looked very commanding with their offense of sharing the ball. LeBron, Anthony Davis. They've even looked to get their bench players involved, with Rondo playing some of his best basketball right now. But the Heat are saying that they're not going to go down easy. I mean, Jimmy Butler, you saw he had a 40-point triple-double in the third game. They're looking to get Bam Adebayo back this game. That would be a huge push to their defense and their offense as well. So hopefully they can get him back. But I think the series is far from over at this point.
Yeah, same. And like you said, Jimmy Butler had his triple-double. That was the first time that anyone outdid LeBron in a playoff game with current teammates or former teammates, which I found insane that Jimmy Butler was able to do that. So, what do you think are the keys in the series for either side to win?
I think that the Heat defense is a huge point of concern, especially with the zone that they've been playing the last 3 games. They didn't play a lot of zone in the third game, but I think that if they stick to man-to-man, they have a better chance of defending Anthony Davis, defending LeBron, defending those guys that are getting these open shots. So hopefully they get Bam Adebayo, who's their best defender. Maybe he made their first NBA All-Star defensive team in a while. So I think that's a huge point of concern, is what type of defense they're playing and how they can contain that explosive Lakers offense.
Yeah, you mentioned the zone. It barely worked against the Celtics, and then they brought it into this series with the Lakers. I just think the Heat's main problem is with or without Adebayo, they're just too small. It's as simple as that. Tristan Thompson even tweeted, he said it's like watching the varsity team play against the JV.
Right.
So, they're just too small. But, like you mentioned, with the man-to-man and switching, I do like how they made Jimmy Butler LeBron's primary defender, and they have, when they attempt the switches, they're keeping them more close rather than completely switching, which I think has benefited the Heat really well, especially with Duncan Robinson being defense not his strongest attribute, and the Lakers have been attacking that. So I also feel in order for the Heat to continue to play well, they need to do what they did in Game 3, and they need to either attack Anthony Davis super early or LeBron super early. If you could get one of the two into foul troubles, that's going to be huge. I know it's hard to do that with LeBron, but they showed they could do that with Anthony Davis. And yeah, I think if the Heat can continue to play how they played the last game specifically, then the series is far from over, as they showed. So, what are your thoughts going into the next game, and who do you think is going to come out on top?
Yeah, this is a huge point in the finals. If the Lakers can go 3-1 or the Heat can tie it up, hopefully getting back Adebayo for Game 4. But I think the biggest point of the focal point for the Heat is how can they guard Anthony Davis, and can they keep him contained? I think Jay Crowder has done a moderate job on Anthony Davis, not letting him not get him going too much. But I think defense is going to be the big focal point. But if they can keep him contained, I don't see why the Heat can't go tie it up at 2-2.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, obviously, being a Heat fan my whole life, the optimistic Heat fan of me is saying Heat in 7. But so I mean, I agree with you. The defense is going to be huge. They need to come out with the same aggression that they did in Game 3. But I do look to the Lakers to be a lot more pissed off this game, especially with how the game ended. As you saw, they walked off with 10 seconds left in the game, so they didn't even technically really want to finish because they were just so annoyed with how things went. But it's like they say, defense wins games. So I think it's huge if the Heat somehow get Adebayo back. I'm hoping that they do, but if they can't, they've shown they can win without him, which is huge. It's next man up, as they always say. So that leads me into series predictions. Who do you have winning, and how many games?
I think it's a matter of if they can get Adebayo back. If the Lakers, because you've seen after they lost that game to Denver last series, that they really ramped up their offense and changed a couple of things which led them to win the series 4-1. So I think it's all about how the Lakers come out this game. But I think that it'll be an interesting series, and as the Heat fan, I want to say in 7. But I think I'm gonna I'm going to take the Lakers in 7. I think it's going to go to Game 7 for sure, but I think that LeBron just really wants this championship for LA, so I'm going to have to say Lakers.
And like you said, the optimistic Heat fan in me wants to say Heat in 7. But realistically, I see it being the Lakers just because, and first of all, they're just too big. And you have Anthony Davis and LeBron has all that championship experience with him. This is Jimmy Butler's first run at the championship. It's the farthest he's made it. And a lot of them are just young players, and they're just growing with it. So realistically, I'm going to say Heat in 7, or Lakers in 7. Hopefully I'm wrong. I would love for it to be Heat in 7, but at the end of the day, I just see it being the Lakers. So this brings me to my final point. Looking into the off-season, who do you think is going to be a key free agent, or what organization do you think is going to be one to look for this off-season?
Well, I think the Heat, more than a lot of teams, they're looking to get that next player, that final player to add to that. I mean, they've gotten to the finals, but they just need that extra push. I think to look out for Danilo Gallinari, who they almost got at the trade deadline last season. I think Montrezl Harrell, Fred VanVleet. I think all 3 of those free agents are ones to look for to add to a championship contending team next season.
Like you mentioned, Gallinari, I would love for that pickup, to be honest. He adds another shooter, and he adds a lot more length that I feel the Heat are missing right now, because even with the bigs they have, they just don't play big. They play relatively small, which is weird, even though they're like 7 feet. So, but yeah, I think it's going to be the Heat with the biggest threat in this offseason.
Yeah, definitely. You see all these championship contending teams looking to add these guys, Montrezl Harrell, Fred VanVleet, who are all on contending teams that didn't make it. The Raptors lost to the Celtics, the Clippers lost to the Nuggets, and I think you're going to see a lot of breakup on that Clippers team who are frustrated with their early season exit. So, look to see Lou Will may leave, Patrick Beverley, Montrezl Harrell. So I think it's going to be a big summer for free agents.
Yeah, you mentioned a breakup between the Clippers. They just got rid of Doc Rivers too recently, so even people at the top are fed up with their exit. So it's definitely going to be a fun offseason, and I can't wait to see. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Ian Lynch.
I'm Jake Henning.
We'll see you next time.